So, good evening, everyone, and welcome to this very special session on launching the concept cracker approach and build your own answers for the upcoming December 2025 revision. I'm Savisha Samaravira, a member of ACCA and an assistant manager at a Big Four firm in Sri Lanka. I will be your host for the evening. So, exams don't always go the way you expect. Many of you have worked hard, put in long hours, and yet the June 2025 results may not have reflected your true potential. And that's okay, because failure is not the end of the story. It's the beginning of learning what went wrong so we can fix it, improve it, and come back stronger. So, this session is all about reflection and strategy. We are going to introduce a new way forward, two innovative learning principles that are designed to help you not just study harder, but smarter: the concept cracker and the build your own answer. It's my privilege to introduce to you our lecturer today, Mr. Indra Suranga, a distinguished academic and professional who has dedicated over 2 decades to shaping the future of governance, risk management, and audit professionals in Sri Lanka. He holds an MBA with merit from the Postgraduate Institute of Management, the University of Sri Jayawardhanapura, and a bachelor's in accountancy and financial management from the same university. He is also currently reading for his PhD in integrated governance and corporate sustainability. Professionally, he is a fellow member of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Sri Lanka and a fellow of ACCA UK. He is also a certified internal auditor, holds a certification in risk management assurance CRMA, and a diploma in IFRS from ACCA UK. With a strong academic and professional foundation, Mr. Indunil has inspired generations of students. His teaching excellence is well recognized. He has consistently guided students to achieve remarkable results in some of the toughest examinations in CA history. Among his notable achievements, in 2012, under his guidance, a student became the first prize winner in advanced auditing after 21 years. In 2014, one of his students from a non-audit background emerged as the prize winner. And in 2016, following the curriculum change to corporate governance and audit pillar, one of his students became the only prize winner between 2015 and 2020 examinations of CA. And now he's back, stronger than ever, bringing two game-changing methods for the next generation: the concept cracker and build your own answer. Indunil sir, very happy to have you here today at the session.
Thank you very much, Savish, for introduction, and I'm happy to have you here rather than just a compeer, being a first-class accountancy graduate and a practitioner from a big firm.
Thank you, Indra. So, all right, so let's start things off with the big question. Today's theme is what went wrong. So, if a student faced the exam and failed, so what should they do to bounce back and be stronger for the next attempt?
Thank you. Thanks for the question, and I will also speak some parts in Sinhala so that it is close to people as I go through, if you don't mind.
No.
So I think we've kind of featured this session as, we put it in Sinhala, කොහෙද වැරදුනේ නැවත නොවරදින ලෙස දැනගන්න කොහොමද, what went wrong and how do you really make it right forever, not just for this exam but any examination in life. So I think your question was how. Now you see this paper is what? June 25. If you look at the CA website, answers are not there. If you want me to discuss the entire paper to the level that someone can get the prize, possible, right? We don't need any answers. Why? Because I have that confidence to do that. And I remember when I was a student, my dream was to get the audit prize. And actually I couldn't, and mostly I think for the last 23 years, of lecturing experience. Even when I was in university, lecturing was my passion, and we help students to develop their language skills, colleagues, students to. So audit, I mean, there are so many stories, and before I get into technical details, I wish I'll share two examples, living examples of students who struggle this paper. And now I should qualify, although this name is Advanced Audit and Assurance, this is not really advanced. I can challenge this in front of anybody. Why? That is where CA curriculum, if you look at those periods that you mentioned, that advanced auditing was at strategic level. Now we are talking a syllabus change. And now, because you are in practicing, right? But if you look at most students will end up, being a CA for a different role.
Correct.
And now with digital, they have to also think, okay, whatever I learn, how it will help me to succeed in their career. Correct. So in that sense, in new syllabus, you also have the option to select either advanced auditing or risk management to be a CR. If you look at in my current role, which I enjoy, although I got a lot of opportunities to move to finance, I haven't, because I love what I do, and that is what I have been teaching, talking and practicing, right? And that is where I am today. Not to talk a lot about myself, but just to tell those two living examples. Now I found, because during this time where advanced auditing was the toughest thing, most of the students struggle to pass this paper. Some people do second, third, fifth, maybe after 10th time also they are practicing. Right. I don't think this paper is terrible like that. Now to cite one example, Savish, I found now this when I traveled to Dubai. I accidentally met I think he chatted me before I went there, and then he told me that he has been doing auditing for many years, and he is unable to figure out what to do, sir. මට auditing විතරයි තියෙන්නේ, රස්සාවේ උඩට යන්නත් බෑ in Dubai. Okay. So I got him down for half an hour, and then what I said, take the latest paper, right? Build your own answer. උත්තරේ exam එකට ලියපු විදිහටම ලියන්න. So he wrote down, and then I marked his answer. I criticized all පෑන ගත්තත් මේ ඔක්කොම කපලා දැම්මා. This is all wrong, right? Okay. This is what is wrong, because some are very long stories, the points are not there. So then I gave him direction. Now stop, because he's doing 10 times. No point of reading study text or any material again, because if you repeat the failed approach, you will again get the same results. If you want a different results, you have to do differently. So I told him, do only past papers, set 3 hours, go to a room, only blank papers and the past paper, like you assume this is exam hall. Now you can ask how many of students will really do that type of simulation prior to the exam, right? Have you become prize winner?
Yes, I have in the first level, sir.
Okay, great. So there, what is your secret?
That would definitely be doing past papers.
Excellent.
Yes.
That's what I now. These are not pre-planned questions. I'm just throwing you questions, right? So that's a success. And you've been a first class. I think you have a record, like. So now there are students. That's the living example. Now this student, I said, paper ma vitarak karanna karala navatinna epa. Right? Now you go to suggested answer. Usually what is suggested answer is very similar to marking script. But the danger there are, some students only read the answers. That's a killer approach. If you just read the answer, that won't help you. So what I told him, okay, first you write the full answer, then take a red pen and mark your answer and criticize, this is why your answer is wrong. And then go back and bridge the gaps. Maybe theoretical gap, long story as the answer, ලොකු කතන්දරයක් ලියලා, right? යන්නේ කොහෙද මල්ලේ පොළ. I'll show you with example taking this paper. I'm going to discuss part of this also as a part of your answer, how concept tracker can be applied to this paper, for example, right? Some of the question. So now the student actually religiously followed my instruction. Then he did first, second, third, fourth times he practiced papers, right? And then when I came back to Sri Lanka, he said, sir, this time I go through after I think about at least 10 times.
That's
that is, at least I am citing this example, maybe this is at least 6-7 years old story. Okay. Is that story relevant today? Second example, this paper. So one of the known student, known to me, and I know this student is, last time he said, sir, I'm doing auditing. He did not take it seriously. I said, it's not easy to pass auditing unless you properly study. I know for sure he will fail, right?
Okay.
And that time, because I was busy, my course was there. I did not advertise even because I had to make sure the course is up to date. My course is not, he wanted to get this course, and some of his friends also, it is not advertised, but the course was there. Now, like you said, it's back. Now, this student failed. Actually, like I predicted, and he again came. I failed in the Kamadidane. This time he had only 5 days. So I told him the same instruction I gave him. So earlier he got 32 marks.
Okay.
This paper, he said, I got 64, double, right?
Double. Okay.
By 3-4 days work. It measured marks, right? So that's what it is, Savisha. So I think for anybody to understand what went wrong, you need to really reflect. Even this paper, right? Even today you can do when I explain few things, and then watch the last paper I have done fully. We will show you in the course how this approach can be practiced. So those two living example I want to give you. It's not about knowing a lot of theories and reading books and wasting time, but the strategy is less with what? Less, more strategy. That means less effort, more results.
True.
Because all of us are busy, no?
True.
That's the idea.
Thank
Long
you.
answer.
Thank you, Vinod sir. So, as you know, when we are doing CA exams, it's a mandatory part of doing examinations, of working, right? So, this helps students who are juggling demanding work commitments with their studies. So, many of you are working long hours in the industry, and you might not have sufficient time to properly prepare as much as you want for the examinations. So, even if you can't dedicate that much time in your day for this, you can still stay consistent, retain knowledge, and build a strong exam technique going forward with these concepts. So, sir, please let me know what the concept cracker is and what are the unique features in this new course. I see that we have a digital concept card as well.
Yeah, so basically, Savisha, let's do it practically, right? So when I say concept cracker, whole idea is if you want to, so whenever I teach auditing, my expectation is for everybody to be the prize winner. That will never be the case, but there are some students who wants to get 50, right? There's greater chance that they will score less than 50. So aim the sky, but you will not reach there, but at least you will get above 50. So that means no selective learning, make sure all the key concepts are understood. So that's the first start. Now if you look at auditing standard, very lengthy, right? Take planning, how many standards, right? 300 standard, that's audit planning, 315 risk assessment, 320 materiality, 330 auditor's response, 240 fraud. Now if you take standards like fraud, it goes to about 50 pages, right? So they will sleep on the book and study text, all of that. That's why students waste time. So the idea of nowadays students are very busy other thing. Like we did it, now they don't have the appetite to spend a lot of times. They want, again I am saying less, more, right? Less, more. So even this session, if you really watch, not only auditing, it will really help you in any subjects to master this. So the concept tracker is not just for auditing, right? So think that your mind is a concept box. That's some fundamental concepts, right? You have to be brilliant in the clarity of that concept, right? Now some of these concepts like ROM, risk of misstatement, IR, CR, these have been there. I have been teaching auditing for at least 23-4 years. Now I looked at the latest international standards to date. Today AI has come. Do you think AI can change the auditing? When I say that whole auditing profession, will it be relevant because of AI? What is your answer? These are not pre-planned questions. I'm putting you
on the spot, sir.
On the spot. Do you think AI can replace auditing? So this audit risk model has been there at least for 25 years. plus,
Right.
because that's the history I know. 25 or 30 years for sure.
Right.
Right? 30, I'm sure it is maybe 50 or 100 years old, right?
Yes.
Now, these are very big concepts. Although the technology has come, now because of technology, can you say that audit partner is not going to sign the report saying that financial statements give what? True and fair view. Do you think technology can override that?
I don't think so. Very
Very
debatable
tough.
question.
Why? Because of professional judgment. Your ability to make judgment. So now some students, like parrots, they try to read books, textbooks and memorize answers. That's, in my view, killer approach. Instead, how do you build confidence to develop your own answers? The starting point is to have the conceptual knowledge with clarity. Now I'll prove you that. Now the diagram, first digital card. Now one of the approach in this concept tracker is to give you a digital learning card. When I say digital, because you all are busy people, new generation, right? So while eating, I'll look at this, okay, right? These all interconnected, right? I'll show you the first concept card that has been carefully done. And of course, I haven't mentioned in my this thing that I have been developed several publications, right? I don't need to mention names and where those publications are for advanced auditing, right? So now with that knowledge, now see concept tracker. So you can see the heading ROM, right? So this is like the heart of auditing. Why? The auditor's opinion is to say financial statements are free of material misstatements. So the auditor's risk is what? Right? So when financial statements are materially misstated, still auditor gives a clean opinion. That's audit risk, right? Risk that auditor gives a wrong opinion when accounts are actually materially misstated. So that race you can break into two. One is wrong. Now whose risk is wrong? Now I know you have forgotten auditing, maybe. Forgotten auditing stand. But the question is, if you logically think like wrong is CFO's risk. Detection risk is my risk if you are audit partner.
Right.
That means who will have wrong? The company. And that, how that risk can be further broken down in concept tracker approach. Now if wrong is the risk that, if you read the definition, it says, you can read it. Financial statements are materially misstated prior to the audit. Did anybody ask why, when you read it, I don't think whether you remember now, why it says prior to the audit? Because this is an assessment done by the auditor before starting the audit. Let's say you do a bank audit. What is the riskiest assertion or account balance in a bank? Logically, right? Loan.
The loans.
Assertion is loan valuation. How do I know that? Because that is inherently riskier. Whose risk? Company risk. Why? Company is a bank. How do I know that? You have to do the basic risk assessment procedures to understand that it is a bank. The environment, business model is a bank. In a banking business model, right? The largest asset in the balance sheet is the loan, and then the assertion. I describe assertion as the heart of auditing, right? Without assertion, you can't talk about auditing. Now, if I ask any of the students who are watching this video, what is assertion? Can you tell in a similar, clear language? Because I simply told, from is whose risk? CFO's risk. CFO, finance director, board of directors, anybody, right? Now, bank, loan, why it is, ROM is high? Because the loan is loan valuation, right? The assertion valuation, how a loan is valued is based on what? Now there is IFRS for loan, right? What is the standard? Financial instrument, right? Loan is a financial asset, right? So yeah, now when you, this is, so now loan, when it comes to loan, the key issue is impairment. Again, there is a accounting standard where we have to look at the expected credit loss model. All of that, and central bank has several guidelines as to how you have to do the impairment. That whole thing is one word in auditing. That is your inherent risk. So as a part of your assessment, you also look at the you see this box is a new thing to auditing. Right? The standard was changed after many years. This standard is again I would describe one of the most powerful standard in auditing. 315, assessing risk of mistake. Because everything audit is going to do depends on what are the key risks. So if you look at loan balance, again very simple example, right? Now why loan is IR is high? Because of inherent risk factors. Now again I have given a framework to understand what IRF. So I call this as 2 C's. That means 2 C's, right? 2 C's ohms, right? Because it's complexity, right? Complexity of the loan impairment, expected credit loss model. So now you have to apply, then I'll explain loan impairment in detail, right? So the probability of loss, POD, right? And so all of that. Now complexity, and then there is now especially with the current economic situation, tariff, all of that, some businesses are struggling, there is uncertainty of recovery. Change, we don't know whether they have changed the loan impairment or change may be there. When you understand the business, you will see whether there's a change. And especially when the profit is not good, when environment is not good, management is biased to make sure that impairment will not hit their bottom line. Now all of the simple example I took, this risk is source risk, management risk. Audit has to understand through RAP. So RAP is the process you understand. When you understand only, you will identify wrong. If you identify wrong, then you have to manage your risk. So imagine like Pramukha Bank, all of these banks and CIFL, and we don't know in future what, right? Now that biggest risk, why auditor was not able to catch? Because maybe your inherent risk assessment is not robust. And then if there is inherent risk to CFO, then they will make sure they will put the relevant control. Now I cover this inherent risk, right? This is a digital card. The definition of inherent risk again is very important. It's defined at assertion level. Possibility. Now these are big words. Susceptibility and possibility. Possibility that an assertion could be misstated. Then you can't learn auditing any further without understanding assertion, right? Now when you look at the dictionary, assert means declare something to be true, right? Management says my loan is okay, but actually it may not be okay. So that is why set of assertions are given under pack cover, right? Presentation, accuracy, completeness, cutoff, right? Occurrence, valuation, and now we are talking about loan valuation, right? So likewise, once the assertion is figured out, auditor will see what management is doing to make sure that the loan impairment is done. So there is a rigorous process of loan evaluation, check-in, and then there are expected credit loss model is based on system data and reviewed by experts and so on. So now initially audit assess these two separately under new standard, then you combine and see what is your wrong. And again now you see how this connection works. Even now you are learning, I think, right?
Yes.
Now see this arrow coming from assertion level. All this part is only assertion level, right? So there is another part of wrong which is what? Financial statement level risk. That means forget the individual balance sheet. By looking at this company, the board of directors, wow, and the year is a terrible year, then you will make a call that this company's overall risk is high. We don't know which account balance may be overstated. It's a pervasive risk. So that's a assertion level risk. So now that loan valuation, I don't take more time because this is not a lecture, right? But to say how powerful this diagram, right? So now this is about knowing ROM is like the heart 315 standard. And if you, when you identify loan impairment as a high risk, right? Because there is a higher inherent risk. Why there is a higher inherent risk? Because of the significant judgment involved. Significant judgment. The moment you say significant judgment, you need to have a second partner. Now you are connecting this to some other standard. Now if you look at the last paper they tested, I think we will discuss the current topic, right? Sri Lanka's standard on quality management 1. Appoint another partner to review this significant judgment, right? That is covered by Sri Lanka Standard on Quality Management 2. Now you are also connecting, if you are a smart student, while you read this diagram, to other areas. But let's stay with this. So now, one is to understand the client risk. The other one is how to cover my risk. If I am the auditor, now you imagine in a bank how many loan applications. If you want to audit commercial bank, there can be thousands, no? So can you go through like traditionally all the loan files?
Definitely not.
No. Then if you are smart, before I detect, I am going to check how client is going to detect their misstatement. That is concept. Now can you see a number here? Concept 10 in one diagram, right? And then if you are not happy, then you will decide to do your own procedures to detect misstatement. When I say that if there is one past paper question asking how to differentiate test of control and substantive procedure, say if it is MCQ, within few seconds you will note the answer. Why these two are different, the objectives are different. Here the objective is to see whether controls are effective. Here the objective is one word, to detect, right? So likewise, so this concept tracker explain the whole picture. Now put this in perspective. මේක theory නැතුව practical angle එකකින් අපි බැලුවොත් මේ වෙනකොට ලංකාවේ ඊගාව exam එකේ එන්න පුළුවන් ප්‍රශ්නයක් මේ. Most of the Sri Lankan companies are struggling. No, around the world, there are many articles published as a current topic, how tariff is impacting the business. Now, when you are in Sri Lanka, most of the apparel, most of the exports companies, apparel to all other companies, right? So they are affected if you are exporting to US. Now that is a business risk. Then you understand that if there is a business risk, right, because of a change, tariff or a complexity, how that business risk will result in audit risk is another concept. So like that, Savisha, the idea of this concept tracker approach is for students to master concepts. Now, what I explained to you, these two, there are two big concepts here. One is a wrap. One is a wrap, which is here. Other one is a FAP. So wrap plus FAP is auditing standard number 300. That's called audit planning. So what should be in audit plan? Essentially your risk and the response in summary, right? Then you need to understand materiality. Then you have to understand materiality standards. So I'm going to do one diagram to explain that whole standard. So likewise, this is something I have been doing for last 20 years. So before I stopped lecturing, I thought of sharing this knowledge and some of these sources, some of these cards, some of this material. And with concept tracker, we will also give something called power note. So those are going to be made freely available. And if anybody wants to learn, who has a financial difficulty, the course is given free of charge. Those who have financial difficulty, right? So that's the whole idea of, I think your question was a long answer again.
Yes.
Concept tracker, right? So later probably we can see how it can be applied in practice as well.
Thank you, sir.
I think with that we took some time to explain like a revision, some part of audit plan.
Yes.
Right.
So as I mentioned earlier, the students who are working long hours, they can definitely benefit from this kind of concept tracker because the time is very limited. Once you understand the concepts correctly, you will be able to apply it to any sort of examination, and specifically in this examination. You can make this your base when facing your December 2025 exams as well. So thank you so much for explaining the concept trackers to us. So, sir, what do you mean by build your own answer? What is BYO and why is it important in this course?
I think, so I don't ask what is your dream, right? So here, what is B by D? B by D? Do you know what B by D stands for? Everywhere B by D is flooded, right?
Yes.
So what is B by D? Do you know?
I actually don't know.
Build your dream, right?
Okay.
So like that, being a chartered accountant also for many students a dream, no? So don't make any exam is a bottleneck, right? Now why I relate this to BYO, you can watch a video. Do you know now you can use ChatGPT and check this one factory, how many BYD cars they are producing per day? If I'm not mistaken, 11,000 odd. Every time the car is made. So are they relying now if people are not coming to work, right? Do you think this factory will stop? So most of the areas, the car making whole process is automated. And only in the inspection divisions there are people, you need, so it's all automated, right? Now likewise, if anybody wants to pass the examination, I am asking you, do you need to totally go behind a lecturer, or totally rely on a lecturer, or totally wait until the answer comes, I don't look at June 25 paper? Do you want to rely on anybody? If you are, I will use the word coach properly. Now most of the students, two example I cited is coaching. It's not traditional teaching. Getting them to figure out. ඔයාලා තේරුම් ගන්න ඕන ඔයාලට වැරදුනේ තැන. වැරදුනේ තැන හොයාගත්තේ නැති කෙනා හැමදාම මේ වරද කරනවා. So we have to address the root cause of the problem. Right? So I will also share one personal experience, right, to show the power of this. How important to identify the root cause of a problem. I'll give that example later. I might deviate if I go into that. So now, to your question, this why I related to this, like these cars are automatically made without much reliance, be confident with less effort to build your own. So the samahara lamai, they are totally checking with the answer. They are comparing this lecturer's answer with another lecturer, all irrelevant. Look at paper marking. Do you think if 100 papers are marked, all 100 will be the same? They are very different, right? Paper marking process, if you ask from anybody who is marking paper, I mean, it's very different answer. They do moderation, all of that. So that tells you one thing. If you are confident about the structure, if you are confident about your concepts, cracker, and then have a framework to connect these concepts based on the exam question. If there is a question on audit planning, you may connect IR, CR, and then identify even SR. Now what is SR? Significant risk, right? So that framework is for that particular question. Now this is the framework I'll show you this, and we can even play a video. There's one free video, right, for recent paper. The full case study has been analyzed using this. Watch that and understand the power of this. Whether you purchase courses or not, irrelevant. You learn it freely, and then don't buy any courses, right? Practice and pass the exam. So that's a privilege for us to see, right? So concepts, the framework, and then you put the structure. This is how I am going to answer ABC, and the answer is automatically developed. It's automatic answer automate karanna bෑ. We have to write there manually, right? But that's the whole idea. But I'll show you this, right? The theory karanna ඕනේ නැහැ. We will go to one question. Now this question, answer is not yet published. What is the paper? June 25. Long case study, 20 marks. This I have taken extract of that. 12 marks. Now if you read it, now I'm going to spend maximum 5 minutes. Huh? Right. Now in 5 minutes, first thing is under BYO approach to figure out which concept is relevant. ROM has come now. I'm happy. ROM has come. The concept box ROM right? So 4 ROMs I had to pick. So in my mind, what is the structure for ROM? So ROM, IR, I told you ROM is CFO's risk, no? IR and CR, right? This is at assertion level, and also ROM can be there at overall financial statement level, right? And another thing I might note that ROM can be affected by the business risk. These are the kind of concepts which is relevant when I read this paragraph. Then within few seconds, I said 5 minutes. Now I think 1 minute gone. Within few seconds, we will figure out, okay, you are an experienced audit manager of this company. So the company information is not given for us to talk about business risk. There is no information. Here they say, Neon is a large manufacturer. Which manufacturer, like a bank, they don't explain. They only say this is export market. Total revenue of 90 billion. That's all. No much information is given on the. I'm going to apply now what? RAP. Because from the RAP only I can figure out BR, right? Sorry, either BR or this. So then I look at para by para. They say recently acquired, right? Another manufacturing company for 50 billion using purchase method, the fair value assessment was made, right, based on the acquired asset and assumed liability, that is IFRS 3, SLFRS 3 business combination, right? And valuation expert has been used. මේ ටික කියවනම් හොඳටම ඇති අර concept tracker එක දාපු ගමන් මෙතන තියෙන්නේ IRA factors, right? මම කිව්වේ තුකුම්ස් කියලා 2C, right? This is the framework. Why? Because what we are going to come up is to the goodwill, right? Per goodwill of 200 million is recognized. So the goodwill has a higher inherent risk. Now I am converting using my framework. What is the framework here? Tukums. Why? Goodwill is complex, right? Why? To calculate goodwill, you have to have the purchase consideration, fair value of the assets. Ascertaining fair value involves subjectivity, right? And then there is a complexity, and sometimes there can be management bias also, right? Using that, I have to just explain that goodwill is a high risk because of the complexity, significant assumptions and judgment involved in the process of fair valuation, right? As well as because they haven't given other information, but there are other things like contingent consideration, all of that. So anyway, goodwill is one candidate, one answer that I will write, because now this is the structure we are applying. The next thing is, during the year, company experienced a rapid growth in revenue, 25% increase. This is especially from new contract. Now the word new contract is a change in Tukum approach. You are changing to new customer. In those new contract, if there are new terms and conditions, it can affect my revenue recognition. Every company revenue recognition is a risk by 240 standard. That's something called rebuttable assumption that there is a risk of revenue recognition. Right? So, however, during the year, so company's revenue increase, cost also increased by 15%. That means they are kind of in a pressure, right? This is impacting management compensation, which is linked to the revenue. This is about the fraud risk because there is an incentive pressure. So this is answer 1, right? Goodwill. Answer 2, right? And we have a structure to explain that answer. So far it is Tukum approach, right? Then it says they have implemented a new ERP, right? And that has several issues with the implementation, errors in inventory and sales, and company uses third-party vendor for IT and cloud services. During the year, there were a number of hacking and you have to break this into 2. This is hacking and ransomware. This part is what? This is about the inventory valuation. But here they talk about not IR but CR, the controls. The ERP system has not worked. Again, you bring from the concept tracker and explain. And finally, company involved in a litigation regarding the custom duty, which could result in 600 million settlement. It is assessed that there is an uncertainty about the timing and outcome. So the moment you say that there is something like exposure, but timing and the outcome is uncertain. So that you have to know account. There is no auditing without accounting. They are trying to describe this as a contingency, but we have to actually see whether it's a contingent liability or provision. If you go to the other page, it says that now this judgment has come and it has become a actual liability, but company is not going to provide. They are going to issue other matter. I am explaining the next page. So then it connects to audit reporting also, because company is not recognizing a provision which is a ROM, and if they are not changing the accounts, auditor can't give other matter paragraph, because according to the question they are going to give other matter. If a provision is not done, it is a qualification. Why? It is a risk of material misstatement. Now based on this, they haven't given a profit figure, but you can reasonably assume that it is material, therefore it's a qualification. So that's how that whole 20 mark is analyzed, right? So I explained 12, but also I connected to the rest of the part. So that's how, Savisha, now you see, to answer this question, that this is essentially about risk of misstatement, and we use this Tukum's approach, having this in mind, and control risk you can clearly see, goodwill and all inherent risk. And then the other part, actually to this concept card, the other risk which is relevant, which is impacting ROM, is the fraud risk in 240 standard, right? So that's the additional point to what is already done. So that's how this approach can be used to really answer any question, right?
Right. Okay. Thank you so much for that, sir. And you can see this is a very comprehensive diagram covering all sorts of standards, and one section in this concept tracker links to other standards as well, helping the students to get an overall understanding of the entire syllabus in one go.
Yeah.
I was going to come to this, sir. Thank you so much. So, sir, here I see that you have spoken about SLQM1, SLQM2, and also you have spoken about the tariff impact.
Yeah.
So, would you mind telling us a little bit about AI and data analytics and what kind of business risk that poses and the risk to the audit profession from that?
Yeah. So I think before I go there, Savisha, I want to tell you another important thing for students, because I rush my explanation because of the time constraint, but I want to show the students when you navigate this concept cracker course, right? Now I said there is one past paper which is fully available, right? So when they go to the course, right, this is the concept cracker, the course has been relaunched, and all these are free things even inside the course. This is very interesting, winning formula of the life, the smart way to study, syllabus store in 10 minutes, right, and concept tracker approach, one paper, right? So if I go to this, I'll come to your question. I just wanted to, for students for today itself, because that question, that my explanation maybe one new student may not be able to grasp. Right now, see, this particular one is a past paper, recent past paper, right? I just show you.
Let us start from the end. So as you know, there are 3 sections, and we are straight away getting to the last segment where we get longer case study. And they are the first question, and as you know, how we start is actually by looking at what concepts we have to crack in this case study. So let us see whether you are knowledgeable about those concepts. If yes, job life becomes much easier, right? Well, so හැමදාම එකක් තමයි මේ ROM කියන්නේ.
This is another paper, one before.
Digital concept card. So when you look at it, it will tell you every information about ROM. So if you have a doubt, please go through my digital learning card under concept tracker approach to see how ROM can be broken to IR, CR, and how IR can be broken to IR factors under Tukum's framework. Greek or those who watch, you know what I'm talking about. And very quickly you know how to get this 10 marks. Let's prove that now. So now this one, these risks also include fraud risks. So my previous paper discussion, so these sessions are arranged in the order, right? So therefore you have to watch in that way. So the risk of fraud, again, when we look at it, what should come? In fact, logically begins with TOC, right? Test of control and reliability, and this expectation is the key, right? Framework call, if you want to do that, call RACER.
That's another.
One true relationship, we call plausible relationship, right? When sales increase, what happened to cost?
If I stop there, Savisha, now see another very powerful techniques in auditing is substantive analytical procedure. You remember analytics, right? Today you asked a question about technology. Today, do you know papers done in auditing into the future, the whole audit analytics is going to change with what they call not just AI or big data, they use the word the digital tools, right? So that digital tool can be AI, big data or anything, and that how it is going to impact the auditor's analytical procedure. Now this particular question they ask how to apply substantive audit analytics as substantive procedure, not as a RAP but as a FAP. Do you understand what I talk in RAP, FAP and all of that? But now method monkey, RESA කියලා එකක්. Then RESA is coming from concept card. If you prove RESA is there, then you can apply analytical process like that. I mean, that makes life easy for students to understand.
That's RESA. Do you know RESA?
Substantive analytical
RESA
process.
will give you 5 marks. So reliability of data, right? So likewise I will explain to you other point under RESA. Produced with the audited financial statement, and one report has a lot of other details. The question, let's get into the
This is how you get to the answer very quickly. Apply the cracker to the case now.
So remember, when you want to find ROM, think ROM can come in either IR and the framework.
This is that frame.
Or it can come from the CR. This is all wrong. And then this is at assertion level, right? And then ROM can also come through overall financial statement level, right? For mobile phone and office. That casts doubt about company's ability to continue in the long run as a going concern. Right? In that case, company has to disclose, right, those reasons and the actions. If disclosures are not done, I can connect to audit report. In the audit report, you will write a going concern paragraph. Wow, that's the full story. Actually, going concern. The first risk we may write, definite answer is going concern. Then, but it says, however, improvement were noted in the market. You know, the method is the control, and here, last part is only that really question the. But the case study says no significant difference in the.
So this is the last part of
right?
writing.
So the.
But what I advise student is, you just watch one such video. Don't wait for my answer.
Right.
Like BY or CASA produce.
Procedures. Once you identify.
I'd like to remind the students that that particular video that showed you is available free of charge currently if you go to the Infinity Learning Space.
And December 23, next exam, there are several free videos available. In addition, I think you will introduce in the Advanced Audit Club that every week, free of charge, key concepts are cracked and auditing standards are cracked.
Yes. Since you brought that up, sir, let's go into, yes, I can show you. There is an advanced auditing club, which is a WhatsApp channel that is available to all of our students. And those who are not even the students of Infinity Learning Space can also join, of course. So this particular channel will give you all the updates available, and we will be having a continuous discussion on the concepts, on exams, on new concepts that are coming up in auditing to keep the students engaged and up to date on everything that's happening in the auditing forum in the world. So we will be posting a link in the group, in the chat right now, so you can use that link to access the WhatsApp channel immediately. And also, for those who are interested, we also have a YouTube channel available. So whatever the new concepts and new videos that we will be doing to keep you updated will be available in this YouTube channel as well. So please subscribe, and you can refer both of these videos at your own leisure.
Yeah, only one point to add, Savisha, there. Now you can see the name of this, right? What is this?
It's back to basics.
So most of the time, why students fail? Because they are not having the basic conceptual understanding. So this back to back, nowadays students will not watch 45 or 1 hour video. This is only 17 minutes. Part 1, learn the art of auditing financial statement assertions. Likewise, there will be free of charge these sessions available for anybody.
So, sir, having said that, can we now navigate the course? So,
Yeah, you can actually.
oh, sorry.
This one, Edumax.
It is.
Yeah, so like I said, so these, if you look at anybody who wants to do exam in December, 3 months is more than enough, because I told you students who did this in 5-6 days, right? So now this, for example, now it's very important to understand the bigger picture of the subject, what is syllabus in 10 minutes, right? So then full past paper, how you practice, and if any students without buying the course watch this, right? And then you want to do your own way, do it, right? And then, but if you want to be an expert in the subject, right, and then really be the prize winner and to make sure that you are definitely pass, I strongly encourage them to watch these cracking videos. Now see, these are all short videos. The 200 standard is the mother standard of auditing, because that's the standard of every standard. Then 315 is like the most powerful auditing standard that connects with many standards. That's risk standard. Every past paper you have a risk question, right? Then this RAP, materiality, so all these auditing standards with case studies, BYO case study audit planning, right? So like that group auditing, so this is uploaded for now, and likewise all the auditing standards and digital topics, all of that will be updated. So to your question, I think you asked a question where I interrupted, that something you asked about digital, right?
AI analytics, sir. So if you could just let us know
Yeah.
how it impacts audit.
Now, what do you think now, because you are practicing, right? So do you think in Sri Lanka, in the current environment, to what level students, are they conversant with the digital tools and auditing using the digital environment?
Students in general, I would definitely say they're very conversant now with the AI tools coming in. But audit, of course, so it's catching up right
Yeah.
now. Yes. Especially, I think a lot of the firms around the world are now using Power BI analytics. It's coming up, sir.
Yeah.
Yes.
So what do you know about ATT? Now I'm putting you on the spot. Because traditionally what was known is CAT, not CAT, CAT. CAAT, CAT. What is that? That has been there for last maybe 25 years, CAT.
Right.
Now CAT, instead of CAT, ATT has come. Even internationally, they are trying to change auditing standard, all of these analytical procedures because of ATT. Automated, right, auditing tools and techniques. It can be, right, it can be AI, right, it can be MI, machine learning, ML, right, big data analytics, right, RPA, all of that. What tool is required? If you look at some of the big four firms, big firms are already like PwC, the journal entry analytics, all of that, that has been there for years. But now, in my view, some of the students think, oh, digital is a big topic. If you look at new syllabus, all digital is everywhere. Digital and sustainability, right? So then, when it comes to digital, there will be another series specifically, right? ADA. Again, if I ask you, you might not know, right? Because these concepts you have to know. I know you all, the generation will know ChatGPT and all other things, but how these concepts can be practically applied. So ADA means audit data analytics, where traditionally analytics on ratio analytics, now 100% data set can be analyzed and outliers can be visually demonstrated, right? Likewise, there are many techniques. First of all, understand the concept. Do you know what is every paper, even recent paper, there are questions about how to set up compute-aided audit techniques, right? So then those concepts are very simply explained, and fundamentals. What is AI? How data analytics differ from AI? What is RPA? Those fundamental concepts are very important with some practical knowledge to pass that paper. So auditing in future, I am sure in this digital club, we want to invite practitioners and to also share those knowledge about what are the trending topics, things like that.
Right.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, sir. And I'd also like to remind the students that we have the chat option. So if you have any questions or any clarifications, please post them. We will do our best to facilitate you. So we have come to the final question of this session. We have covered a lot of concepts. We have navigated through the entire course that is being offered as well. And finally,
there are a lot more to come, because if I put everything, you know, they get lost. That's the other danger of this digital learning model. So many things, they don't know where to start. Only this is maybe 2-3 hours. Do it, then the next thing will come likewise.
Understood. Thank you so much, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir. So finally, what would be your advice to aspiring chartered accountants, you would say?
But I will also take 3 minutes before I get into that. That is our closing question, right?
Yes.
Your previous question, what are the changes happening in the field?
Yes.
What are the new topics? I want to add one thing, Sabisha.
Yes.
What is this?
It's an SUV.
SUV, what is the brand? Earlier we looked at BYD,
BYD,
right?
yes.
BYD is new.
Yes.
But for generations, what is this brand?
Toyota.
Toyota. Now, do you know books written on Toyota production system? Even Toyota had to recall millions of cars for defects. But having said that, the level of confidence, even nowadays, if you ask, I'm not criticizing BYD, but still consumers are experiencing, okay, how it's coming at a cheap price, how about reliability, all of that. So then the keys for a car manufacturer to gain that reputation is what? Quality, reliability. So in audit firms, same thing if you apply, imagine a big firm gives a wrong opinion, the company goes bankrupt. Even I remember I did a research that, you know, some of those bankrupt companies many years ago when I was in university, that what is the report given prior to the bankruptcy and what led to that, and to see why auditors' report was not able to address. Now, the danger for a car manufacturer is, the biggest risk is safety, no? From risk management perspective, the safety risk. Like that, if you take phone, there is a case study published on Samsung, if I'm not mistaken, Note 7. Millions of devices were called because the phone caught fire. These are, when I do risk management, these are cases I do. My point is, one hot topic in auditing today in Sri Lanka and globally, that, do you know, right, while you're also from Big Four, if you Google, some of the big firms are banned in some countries, right, because of what issues? Quality issues, right? So then it is paramount for an audit firm to ensure that any reports they give are reliable, and that depends on their what system? Quality system. So do you know what are the 2 standards for quality management?
SLQM.
What is SLQM? Sri Lanka Quality Management Standard 1 and 2. So 1 gives the overall structure, 2 is specifically about having a quality review partner. Like I said, that banking example.
Yes.
Now, do you know during last 2 papers, first time the examiner tested these concepts, right? I will just show you how this is the latest paper, right? Now, the scenario is warm body, right? Assess the possible concern encountered by DPA with respect to SLQ's M1. If you go to concept tracker, this must be in your mind, right? Now, there are 8 components of quality. I am taking only 3 minutes for this explanation. If audit firm fails, one of the major reasons for failure is the failure from the leadership level, governance and leadership. Imagine a partner who is only thinking about money and not allocating enough people, taking any number of jobs, allocating limited time, giving the opinion, take a high risk of quality failure. That's what is the key? Governance and leadership. Then whether the firm retains capable people within the firm, giving them promotion, education, etc. And then when they marry with a new client, what is the due diligence process that is taken place? Remember, I told you in auditing, most powerful standard is risk assessment standard. Now, when they changed this quality standard, they brought the first component as the same. You do a RAP for audit firm. Now, did you see how those concepts are real now? Auditor අනික් අය audit කරන ගමන්, right? තමන්ට rap එකක් කරගන්න ඉස්සලා. So this is what? Risk assessment. So the firm, that means if I am asking you to do a risk assessment for another firm, smaller firm, you might see, okay, there are only 2 partners. They are so busy, they don't have time. There are only very junior fellows doing the audit. Their work is not supervised. There are many risks, no?
True.
So for those risks, what are they going to do, right? How are they going to remediate those risks? What are the action points that are required? How you capture information about quality, right? And when you take new clients, are you taking any clients on the street, or you are selective to apply, take only healthy clients? Now, this is, see this, I will show you this. When I spoke about Toyota, this is how we compare Toyota production system, books written on Toyota production system with SLSQM1. දැන් මේ නැත්ත හරි බෝරින් නේ quality ගැන audit firm යන්නේ නැති ළමෙක් කියවද මොකුත් තේරෙන්නේ නැහැ right. දැන් මේක බැලුවොත් මම කිව්වා වැදගත්ම වෙන්නේ firm leadership, no? So then Toyota quality management, the first thing is quality culture. Quality is the first, the leadership. Now you see same terminology. This has been there for many years. Where this new thing, and then you do what are the risks to the audit firm? The risks where junior people are allocated, no experts who knows IFRS. You take a sustainability assurance engagement. There are no people who are qualified to do that.
True.
So like that, Toyota also doing a right FMEA, the risk-based defect prevention process, and then ethical requirements. Toyota code of conduct. When you accept client, be very careful like that. When Toyota select new supplier, be very careful. But if you look at BYD, all suppliers, everything they do by themselves, right? So like that, so everything, if you look at engagement performance, how audit is done, right? Direction, supervision, review, right? And engagement quality control reviews, all of this, right? About engagement, that Toyota production system, right? And then the process is defined. The resources, here resources, and how you get the information about problem, here visual controls and Kanban communication, how you monitor, here audit recalls 5 why analysis. Exam කරද්දී තහඬ why 5ක්. ඇයි fail උනේ? Right? වෙලා තිබ්බේ නැහැ. ඇයි වෙලා තිබ්බේ නැත්තේ? ඔහොම අහගෙන යද්දී you get the final reason. With that, I can come to your last question. What was the last question?
Yes. So what is your advice for aspiring chartered accountants, such as the ones who are involved in the session today?
That is very important question. Now, with all boring slides that were done so far, you see a beautiful slide here, isn't it? මෙච්චර වෙලා කතා කරපුවා boring. දැන් හොඳම ටික කතා කරමු. So students, what is important is not the exam, but life. We have to live our life, no? So we are doing this session happily, free of charge, right? And there are so many free resources. Watch and enjoy. When it comes to life, are you happy in the life? So what you cannot purchase is the happiness. So are you happy? What do you think? What is required to be happy? Do you think money can make you happy? Huh?
Well, the general answer would be no.
Yeah. Yes. Why? So I remember. Yes, I will express. You answer.
You can take it up, sir. Yeah.
So I remember there was a time when we worked in audit firms. Salary was below 5,000, right? So then there is a date we are looking the next promo. Not only me, ask anybody. Human being, right? They need money, no? Can anybody live without money?
Definitely not.
No. You need money. Say your salary is 5,000, you are waiting to get a promotion, then 5,000 වුණා, පොඩ්ඩක් happy, right? Still not enough to pay boarding fee or class fee. So that 10 become 25. 25 becomes 50. Now you are happy, you are at a final level, you are waiting to get a full qualification and promotion, expecting a salary of 75,000 or 100,000. Then you qualified 100, that 100 also not enough. Then switching to another job. 200,000, 300,000, even though it is 500,000, still it is not enough. Why? Because with the money you also complicate your life. So what is important, like Steve Jobs says, simplicity is the ultimate sophistication. You can earn enough money, but happiness you cannot purchase for money, right? So that is where what is important is whatever problem you have, even in studies, why students waste a lot of time, Savisha, when you ask my advice for those who are studying is less, more. Because life has much more thing to do more than studying. So why they are not studying? They are distracted. If you are studying, I have to only think about studies. That moment I am studying for 10 minutes, fully like meditation, I am fully only studying. That 10 minutes gives like, some other students who getting distracted and spend say 5 hours for that 10 minutes. So that is very important to live in this moment. Whatever you do, give 100% attention to what you do to be successful at that point. Now I am in a lecture, I am only concentrating on lecture, but when I am at work, it's only the work, right? So like that, that's very, very important. Living in this moment means you are not getting distracted. Give 100% attention to what you do. Breathe. Now, do you know whether you are breathing now? Actually, some people don't know whether they are breathing, right? Because they are busy to see, they don't know they are breathing. No, when you are tired, take a deep breath, right? And enjoy that. Stop the work, right? This has a lot of things I can explain further, but let's stay. The biggest killer for today's generation is social media. But this can be used for good purpose. But wherever we see people going up, down, always with the phone. So phone is a killer if you misuse. Phone, not only phone, the digital devices, especially when you are studying, how to avoid distraction. This is a killer for the future, right? If it is misused. And then finally, life is to be happy. No, you have to enjoy, right? Experience the nature, right? And because are we going to live how many years, right? Very few, no? So I am now 40 plus, right? Maximum life expectancy. Can anybody live 100? Very difficult. No, we can measure our life by hours. So we are going to live X number of hours. Why not be happy? So in that journey, I mean, if you think chartered accountant, I am going to be only happy when I become a chartered accountant, you will never be happy because you are waiting till that date is an unknown date, right? So there is another interesting video that I have done on the atomic habit. Do very little thing and be happy about it every day. Allocate half an hour. If you do half an hour study, be happy. So like that, because finally, one exam karat vadanna if you are not happy. So that is the biggest advice I am giving to students and aspiring CA. Because otherwise, when you become a CA, you will be a patient, right?
Very true.
So I think that's the solution, and that's what I want to finally share.
Finalize. Thank you so much, sir, for that wonderful and inspiring ending words for today's session. So a big thank you, Indulin sir, for not just teaching the audience but truly inspiring us with all these new concepts of the concept cracker approach and as well as the build your own answer approaches. So for 20 years, he has been helping students overcome one of the toughest hurdles in their professional journey. And today's session is proof that his passion for teaching and student success is stronger than ever. So to everyone joining us online, remember, these innovative techniques are designed to make you exam ready, confident and future focused. So can we just check if we have any questions from the students?
Yeah, I think maybe no, because we set up this session during the weekdays.
Yes.
So that's, I'm sure a lot of students will be benefited, Samisha, when this is uploaded.
Yes.
So I think
we can conclude. Okay, thank you so much. So on behalf of all of us, thank you once again for sharing your wisdom, Indulin sir, and energy with us tonight. And to our audience, I'd like to stay tuned, stay motivated, and keep cracking those concepts. Thank you so much.